Hi, my name is Angie. I just wanted to take a minute and thank you all for being here with me today. And if I haven't had the opportunity to meet you, my name is Angie Aki, and I'm the owner of Living Inspired Within. And thank you for taking the time to pour into yourself today. The importance of community is such an important thing to discuss, and positive mental health is a really important thing to discuss, especially as we go into Thanksgiving week and we deal with the pandemic and some of the restrictions we're dealing with, some of the social hurdles we're dealing with, some of the emotional hurdles. When we talk about the importance and power of community, it just this is something I'm passionate about. So thank you for taking the time to pour into yourself. If you're not familiar with Living Inspired Within, it is a business that I own to help women entrepreneurs so that we can empower them and provide clarity and direction around their goals and dreams so they can realize their full potential, make more money, and live a life they love. So, if you're not part of our Facebook group community, I would urge you to do so. Well, you can find us on Facebook under Women Living Inspired Within. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll walk through the importance of community today. If you have any questions, please comment and I'll be sure to get back to you. All right, here we go. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get started here and we're going to talk about the importance of community. So, again, welcome everyone. I'm so happy you've joined me today. Again, if we haven't met, my name is Angie Aki, and I'm so thankful to be here with you all today. Um, the goal today is really to help you improve your health by improving your relationships in many different aspects. Again, please comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to respond to those. That being said, let's get started. Okay, mental health. So, too often we focus on mental illness when discussing mental health. Mental health also includes your overall emotional and mental well being, which includes both your positive and negative elements. So, just as your physical health needs to be tended to regularly, measures can be taken to improve your positive mental health as well, right? So, just like you work out, however many times a week, you want to make sure that you're spending time focusing on your positive mental health as well. So, by nurturing our mental health, we can handle stress more effectively, recover from setbacks more quickly, sleep better, and heal faster. There are a lot of ways to boost mental health through self care and practicing mindfulness. However, today we're going to discuss the power of connecting to our community of friends and family in order to maintain positive mental health. So again, this is a really important topic. I'm very passionate about this, especially as we go into the holiday season. We are dealing with a pandemic, which has provided emotional, physical, mental stress, I think, on all of us. Our lives look really different. So, looking at our mental health and the power and influence of communities is really critical to make sure that we are well balanced and really taking care of ourselves. So, when we talk about positive mental health really influences so many aspects of our daily life, from how we think to how we feel and behave. So, your mental state also affects your body's ability to cope with stress, overcome challenges, build relationships, and recover from life's setbacks and hardships, which I feel like we've had a lot of lately, right? But there are plenty of things you could do to take control of your mental health. And that really starts with building strong, rewarding relationships. And good mental health isn't just the absence of mental health problems, right? So just because you don't have a mental health problem or a mental illness doesn't mean you have good mental health. Good mental health refers to the presence of positive characteristics rather than just being free of depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues. When you're looking at characteristics of positive mental health, some of the characteristics are contentment, the ability to laugh and have fun, the ability to bounce back from adversity, a sense of meaning and purpose, flexibility to learn new things and adapt to change, and the presence of self-confidence. So those are just some of the things we look at to say, okay, do you, and some of the things you can ask yourself, do you have positive mental health? Are you content? Are you happy? Are you bouncing back from adversity, right? Flexibility to adapt to change. Gosh, we've had so much change this year. Have you been flexible with it? Do you have self-confidence? Those are some of the things you can ask yourself. When we look at the importance of connecting, it is truly important, especially in today's tech-driven world. The Mental Health Foundation defines relationships as the way in which two or more people are connected or the state of being connected. So investing in and building, maintaining good relationships is crucial for achieving positive mental health. And by doing this, we strengthen our own mental health. And then we also help others strengthen theirs as well, right? So relationships and friendships should be give take, right? Give take, give take, and should be two-sided, not one-sided. And people who are socially connected to their community and their family and friends are typically happier, physically healthier, and suffer few mental health problems compared to those who are less connected. So some really great benefits to having a community of people around you. And so when we look at evidence, right? So depending on how you learn or how you like to perceive information, you may say, okay, that's great, but is there evidence, right? And so we will look at some of the things the Mental Health Foundation has said. But taking part in close relationships can give us purpose and a sense of belonging that does positively impact our mental health. The Mental Health Foundation completed a review of 148 studies on health and social relationships. And what they found was that a lack of social relationships could be just as debilitating to your health as smoking, physical inactivity, and obesity. And we know that those three things are truly detrimental to your health. So if you don't have social relationships or you're lacking that in your world, that's just as detrimental to your health. The Mental Health Foundation urges physicians, health professionals, and educators to take social relationships as seriously as other risk factors. They've asked them to talk to patients about this and observe this. And then also, when we look at a study by Harvard University, which followed over 700 participants in an attempt to determine what makes us happy, the key results that were reported in this study found that health and happiness are not a result of wealth, fame, or working hard. I'm going to repeat that. Key results reported that health and happiness are not a result of wealth, fame, or working hard, but instead they come from our relationships. So if you don't think relationships are important and crucial to your well-being, I ask you to stop and look at that and think about it, because it truly is so important. And so even if it's something where you have good positive relationships, look at those around you and try to help encourage those other people around you within your community that may not, and maybe reach out and help them achieve good positive relationships, because it is so important. When we look at face-to-face connections, the company of others is essential to our well-being, right? We're social creatures with emotional needs for relationships and positive connections. And without them, that is where our mental, physical, and emotional well-being gets damaged, right? Without these. Even if we're shy or untrusting of others, our brain craves companionship. I know mine does. I am not necessarily shy, but it truly does. And if I'm missing that interaction, I feel the need and the pull towards it. Nothing beats the stress-busting, mood-boosting power of quality face-to-face time with other people. Now, I realize now during this pandemic that can be really challenging for some of us, and it is. But I would encourage you to reach out and make, if you can't be physically face-to-face with people, Embrace technology, right? That's where technology really steps in and can help us have those face-to-face connections that we cannot logistically have right now. And I get it. Trust me. I miss my niece and my sister and her husband very much. But thank goodness for technology and FaceTime and Zoom and phone calls so we can see each other's faces because it really is so important. Social media and phone calls are a great way to stay in touch with friends and family, but in person connections are crucial where possible, right? And I know this is a special time. Sometimes we just need someone who's a good listener, and we also need to be a good listener for our friends and family. Someone you know and trust can listen to your feelings behind your words, and they won't interrupt, judge, or criticize you, right? One reason face to face interactions are so important is that we all communicate through body language. So some of the things you're saying may be lost during a phone conversation or text because people can't pick up on your body language or your nonverbal cues. Your nonverbal cues can indicate different thoughts and feelings, which help immensely to prevent others from misinterpreting what you're trying to say, right? And then enter Zoom and FaceTime, which we just talked about. These can be really beneficial tools to bridge the gap when you're connecting with people within your community and your friends and family you can't see right now. So I encourage you, you can have a free Zoom account and utilize it. FaceTime is great, right? There's Google Meets. There are all of these things. So if you can't see someone face to face, especially during this holiday season, at least use technology so you can see their face. Some days it can be a struggle to find the time to connect with others in person. And I get this. I am running multiple businesses. But even when we're busy, find a way, right? So can you run errands with friends or family? Can you work out together? Can you go for a walk around your neighborhood? Can you meet for a cup of coffee outside somewhere? Or take the kids to a park or a picnic? What can you do, even though you're super busy, to fit in that time, right? And to make those social connections. So those are just a couple of ways to keep interactions going in your life. And I encourage you to look and make sure you're not cut off too long from interacting with people, right? Especially given this time. And in this world, we know it's a race against time, and the important people in our life can't always stop what they're doing to make time for us. So here are some more ideas of ways that you can make time for people in your community and your friends and family. You can get to know an acquaintance better, right? When you don't have someone to call, potentially look for someone that may need someone to reach out to them, right? Someone in your community. I realize making new friends can be tough for people. So maybe you're the one to break the ice, right? Go out to lunch. You can sit outside with people still at this time. Sometimes, some states, maybe you can go out to lunch together or ask someone to join you for coffee. Join a networking or a social or special interest group. There's a lot of groups on Facebook, a lot of Facebook groups, a lot of virtual networking, a lot of virtual events where they have little rooms that they can put you in where you can talk to people and meet with people. And this is a great opportunity to connect with people with common interests. And so this is something I do when I'm out biking and walking on, we have a trail close to our house. Don't be afraid to smile and say hello to strangers. And this may sound so silly, but it's something so little that really makes such an impact and can make such a positive impact on your day and also their day. So I kind of treat it as a game. And I love to, I'll be out biking or walking and I'm like, good morning. I hope you have a great day. And I catch people off guard, but I'm smiling at them. And 9 times out of 10, they smile back and I can see them physically lift up, right? And that's such an awesome thing. And it's something so little. We tend to place too much importance on romantic relationships when the truth is that friends are more important to happiness and well-being than anything we can physically have, especially within a romantic relationship. Research shows that meaningful friendships are powerful factors when it comes to our psychological welfare. A recent Swedish study found that Even found that friends are tied to longevity. In the absence of meaningful social connections, our health suffers, just as if we were living in a sedentary lifestyle. There are so many benefits of developing and maintaining friendships. A good friend can help keep you lifted, elevate your mood, get you through tough times, right? Be a source of encouragement, help you reach your goals. Additionally, if you have an active social life, it can actually like bolster your immune system and help reduce isolation, which is a major contributing factor for depression. So, having an active social life can help reduce your risk of depression. That is awesome and amazing, right? No pill required. And I'm not saying that if you have a mental illness, I encourage you to get the help you need. But just realize having friends can help in so many ways, right? And friendship really is a two-way street. The more you give and the more you contribute, the more you actually give and contribute to your own sense of self-worth. It's awesome, right? Helping others can actually make you feel needed and adds purpose to your life. And that's connecting with your friends, helping your friends. It's important to understand how relationships feel. So, no matter how much you have in common with someone, if being around them doesn't make you feel good, doesn't make you feel happy, you're probably not going to get much out of that relationship. And if being around someone doesn't positively affect your life, it is okay to take a step back from that relationship. I know as my life looks so different than it did a handful of years ago. And as I have grown in myself and in my businesses, my free time is so little. And I'm really, I kind of evaluated my relationships, my friendships, my business relationships, and everything, and said, okay, if this isn't positively affecting my life and I can't positively affect their life, then maybe it doesn't make sense to spend time here when I have such little time. And that's okay, right? So feel comfortable, take stepping back from those relationships that are not positively contributing to your life, because friendships work both ways. In addition to feeling supported by someone, you should also feel comfortable supporting them. You guys should both require acceptance, loyalty, and trust from each other. So when you're making new friends or when you're evaluating your friends, right, and your relationships, look and ask, does this person show genuine interest in my life, the things I say, and how I feel? Are they accepting of who I am? Do they listen attentively without judgment? Do they feel comfortable sharing things about themselves with me? And do I feel comfortable sharing things about myself with them? And after you spend time with someone or in a group of people, right, which we're not doing a ton of right now, but um, ask yourself, this is a really good litmus test, right? To say, okay, is this a positively contributing relationship or friendship to my life, right? So do I feel better after I've spent time with them? Am I myself around that person? Do I feel secure, or do I feel like I have to watch what I say and what I do? That is no fun. Is the person supportive of me and my dreams and my life? And do they treat me with respect? That is so crucial. Is this person someone I can trust? So, those are really good questions to ask yourself. Social support systems include anyone we trust and can go to for help, advice, or any type of emotional support. Having a strong social support system is vital to maintaining and building positive mental health. Our social support helps to increase mental health by alleviating stress, increasing self confidence, and decreasing feelings of loneliness. Having support can help us get through tough situations or even provide ideas or recommendations for how to overcome challenges in life, in business, and family. Feeling loved and valued also increases our self confidence and self esteem. And those things contribute to good mental health. Social support systems can also be fun. Participating in an activity or just having a chat about what's going on in life decreases your risk of feeling isolated or bored, which are traits associated with mental health conditions such as depression. Many friendships grow out of shared activities and interests. So think about the things you like to do, right? Do you like to bike? Do you like to do yoga? Do you like to drink coffee? Do you like to do art? And trying a new activity is a great way to provide time to bond with someone too, right? Or learn something new. Fear is super common when trying something new. So if you're doing something for the first time, chances are others feel the same way as you felt at some point, right? And realize too, so some people, especially if you're an introvert or you're shy, understand that you only have control of your own feelings and actions. We can only choose not to dwell on negative feelings associated with failings at something new. And really, who cares if you fail anyway, right? Did you try something new? Did you have a good time? Right? So I fail forward every single day. And I have learned to be really comfortable getting uncomfortable. So if you haven't explored that, I really strongly recommend that you do and see what happens when you start being comfortable, um, getting uncomfortable, right? It's awesome and it opens up a whole world of possibilities. There are so many ways to strengthen your bond with current friends or develop new ones. So here are some ideas, right? Join a local walking group, or if you like scrapbooking, there's scrapbooking meetups. Go to meetup.com, look for meetups in whatever you're interested in, right? Or if you want to try something new. Volunteer to either clean up the beach or walk dogs in a shelter or volunteer at a food pantry or something like that, right? There's so many organizations that need help, especially right now. If you're more adventurous, look for a local zip line, right? Or maybe a hiking club or something like that. If you're creative, what about painting with a twist? You can go with a friend there, right, for an evening. And I know a lot of these places are doing outdoor activities now. Escape rooms are awesome. They're fun. If you've never done one, that's a great way to bond with someone. It brings out everyone's personalities. So it's awesome. If you're into wine, coffee, beer, look for, tastings in your area, right? Desserts, there are dessert places everywhere. So look for things that you like. If you're a foodie, I'm a foodie, I love food. Look for a new restaurant to try. Look for a new coffee place, look for a new tea place, explore new things. It's super fun. But whatever it is, be sure to engage with others and make connections. So here are some quotes. This is a quote by Carl Jung. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there's any reaction, both are transformed. So realize you're transforming yourself and someone else, right? And I love this quote because it really states the positive reaction when we connect with someone. Here's another one by Carl Buchner, I think is how you say it. They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And this is something I posted not too long ago. I love this quote, and I think we can all relate to it. So, how many times have you walked away from a conversation or interaction not remembering exactly what was said, but you have a really strong positive or negative feeling because of the interaction? And that is what's memorable. Dale Carnegie said, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you, right? So, this is awesome advice in making new friends and sustaining current relationships. We all have something to say, right? And a story to share. But are you willing to actually hear what someone else has to say, right? And this is great. I know we just went through a lot of political stuff, right? But listen to someone else's point of view and put yourself in their shoes. It really helps to open up your mind. It's awesome. And then Gandhi said, nobody can hurt me without my permission. And if you are an introvert or someone that is shy or hesitant about reaching out to people and making connections or even networking, right? If networking is not your jam because it kind of freaks you out, um, this really illustrates fearing rejection. You only have control of how you feel. You're the only person that can control that. And you don't have to give that away, right? So I say this to my son all the time. You can only control yourself, right? That's the only thing you have control over. So much is out of your control. So make sure you have proper control of yourself and your emotions. So definitely let me know which one of these quotes resonates with you. I would love to hear. I think there's some awesome quotes there. And I wanted to share those with you. Close relationships take time to develop and even more time to deepen, right? So, in order to nurture these connections, you have to be a good friend in return, which we talked about before. So, maybe ask yourself, are you the kind of friend you would like to have? Are you reliable, thoughtful, trustworthy? Are you willing to share yourself? Are you willing to share your time? Do you allow your friends the space they need? Relationships have to evolve naturally. So ask yourself, are you setting rules or expectations? Because they really have to evolve naturally. And just enjoy the journey. So it's with everything in life, right? So you may want to get from point A to point Z immediately. And if point Z is fireworks, you're going to have a ton of sparklers along the way. And that's going to be the majority of it, right? So enjoy the journey, both in your dream and as you develop and nurture friendships. And remember, no one is perfect. Forgiveness can go a long way when talking about relationships. And it helps you maintain really long, fruitful relationships and friendships. Also, business relationships. So keep that in mind when you're working through, maybe you're butting heads on something or you have had a conflict. Working through that can really help you get closer. And give the grace you want to receive in turn. That's so important. So just as you want grace, if you mess up, be sure that you're offering your friend, your family, your coworkers, whatever that relationship is, you're offering them grace as well. Another important friendship trait is to be a good communicator. Listen, right? So listen and support others just as you want them to listen to you. We all want to be heard. Having the ability to communicate is key to healthy relationships. Too often, talking is mistaken for communicating. Talking is important, and I get that, right? But listening to nonverbal cues, right? So seeing nonverbal cues and listening to someone, looking at their body language also plays a big role in communication. So in order to be a better communicator, you can be a good listener, know when to give input or feedback, and know when not to. If there's a misunderstanding in your group, you can mediate that, right? So kind of be the middleman if there's a group of people and two people are kind of butting heads. Keep your responses simple and succinct. No one wants to hear someone go on and on and on, right? It's tiring. Maybe you don't comment on everything, right? Be positive and show someone that you're paying attention, right? Sometimes that's just nodding. So they know you're listening. And then validate what you're being told so that you're clarifying before you share your perspective, if that's, a kind of an opportunity. Listening is probably the biggest key to communication. How many times have you spoken with someone and were already thinking about what you were going to say back or your response, right? Or you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I got to go pick the kids up, or what are we having for dinner? I got to run to the grocery store, right? And we've all done it. Unfortunately, this doesn't really make for good communication. So when you're talking to someone and you're listening to them and trying to show them that you're listening, Offer people your undivided attention. Look them in the eye and be attentive and be present in your conversation, right? So be where your feet are. If you're talking to them, be present in the conversation and with him or her or that group, and that's it. Don't be thinking about a million things. Don't be on your phone texting, picking up calls in the middle. Really be present. Don't judge or criticize or jump to conclusions or insert yourself into their thoughts or feelings. Let them finish their thoughts without interruption. Interrupting is a pet peeve of mine. It kills me. Like, please, let's let whomever that is, right, finish their thought. Because what you may be hearing, maybe that's not what they're saying, but they're not done saying it yet. And now you're just jumping to conclusions and inputting in what you have to say. And as you're listening, try to picture what the speaker is saying, and this will help keep you focused and present, and so that you're not thinking about other things, right? So try to paint a picture of what they're saying. And you don't always have to offer solutions. Sometimes it's appropriate and sometimes it's not. But sometimes it's just important in relationships to sit there and let someone vent. And if you don't understand what they're saying or you're not quite getting it, just ask questions and ask. I often will, someone will say something to me and I will say, okay, so what I'm hearing is XYZ, correct? So that you're understanding, because sometimes they'll say something, I'm hearing something else, and they're like, no, that's not what I meant. And, obviously, if they ask your opinion, offer it, right? You're there to help, love, and support them, just like you want the same back. During every interaction we have socially, we're constantly giving and receiving nonverbal signals in the way we sit, how fast or how loud we talk, how close we stand, and how much eye contact we're making. They're all nonverbal cues that we use to communicate. There are times when what comes out of your mouth and what you communicate through your body language can be two totally different things. And it runs in my family. My thoughts and my feelings show on my face. And I get that from my mother. So I don't know if any of you have that, but that is, that's my life, right? So if I am thinking or feeling something, my thoughts, I wear them on my face. So that made me think of that. But most people respond based off nonverbal cues over spoken language because it's something natural and unconscious that we communicate with as humans. The way you look, listen, move, and react tells other people whether or not you care, whether you're truthful, and how well you're listening. Right? Are you fidgeting? Are you bouncing your knee when they're telling you something? You're looking around like you can't wait to get out of the room. That's telling someone you frankly don't care what they're saying, you know? And to become a better communicator, it's important to become more in tune with your body language and nonverbal cues, both of yourself and others. There are a ton of nonverbal means of communication. Facial expressions are super telling, right? So we can express a lot of emotions without saying a word. And facial expressions are universal no matter what culture or language you're referring to. So think about happiness, sadness, anger, surprise, fear, and disgust, sorry. They're the same across all cultures and languages. And what pops into my mind, when talking about this is think about National Geographic photos to me, the photos that they have of humans across the world. So many of those photos I have resonated with because I see the love in someone's eyes, the desperation. They're not saying anything before I even read anything. Look at the photo and you can tell so much about that, right? It's so similar to what we're talking about. And then we talk about body movements and postures. They communicate so much information as well, from the way you sit to the way you carry yourselves, right? Nonverbal communication includes your posture, your stance, your subtle movements, the way you walk through a room. Hand gestures are also unconscious expressions and can differ across cultures. I talk with my hands. So sometimes I have to hide me, right, when I'm doing presentations, if I'm doing it online, because I talk with my hands, it can be distracting. It's something I'm working on. And we can also tell a lot about someone through touch. We usually use some form of touch when greeting each other, either a handshake or a hug, when there's not a pandemic, I should say. But typically, historically, there's some type of touch. And space is really telling and important for communicating too. So when kids play, if you look at it, they really have no idea of personal space and they get right up in each other's faces. But it's rare to see adults engage so closely. And we all have different levels of comfort when it comes to personal space, all of us. And physical space can be used to communicate many different nonverbal messages, including intimacy, affection, aggression, and dominance. So think about how space relates to those. And if you're aggressive or dominant, right, people lean in. They say, I don't want to get in your face, right? Because you're minimizing that personal space. Stress compromises our ability to communicate, causing us to misread other people or send confusing or off putting nonverbal signals. So when you're upset or you're stressed, you can make others feel the same, right? Which doesn't help. It's a vicious cycle. So if you're upset or stressed, it's often best to take a step back and recollect your thoughts. And then once you've regained your emotional equilibrium, then you're better equipped to deal with the situation in a positive way. Otherwise, it could just be a negative, a vicious cycle of negativity, right? And negative thoughts and negative responses. So a quick and easy stress relieving technique is simply closing your eyes and taking 3 to 5 deep, calming breaths. This resets your mind and can help calm you quickly. You can also think of something calming, right? Picture something in your head. Is it your child? Is it a beach? Is it a favorite memory, right? Is it a favorite smell? If you think about like an apple pie baking, right? You smell that almost immediately. You can listen to calming sounds. So if you have, there's a million apps you can have on your phone. I have a calming sounds app on my phone and I like it. And sometimes I'll sit out by my pool and we have a fountain. And it's really calming for me just to hear that water flow. Or you could take a minute to meditate or pray. All those things are great ways to combat stress. Being aware of your emotions and how they influence you help you signal more accurate nonverbal cues. It's also crucial to be able to read the emotions of others to recognize their true feelings behind the cues that they're sending. One way to increase your level of self-awareness is through regular meditation or practice. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with your emotions and also with the practice itself, if you've not meditated before. And with regular practice, you can change your neural pathways in your brain that deepen your confidence, your resilience, and your emotional control. So if you have not tried meditating, let me know. Comment below and I will send you a beginner meditation video. It's on YouTube. It's free. Check it out. But, you know, and I struggle with meditation. I love it, but my mind wanders, right? And I have to try to bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. But if you think about all the positive things it can do, right? It's going to deepen confidence, provide you with resilience and emotional control. Those are all amazing things. So I encourage you, if you've not tried to meditate, you may want to include that practice in your day or in your week. You can also use positive affirmations and visualizations to increase self-awareness as well. And just some final tips on improving your relationships. Give your attention to others, be present, practice generosity, treasure and protect your friendship. Friendships are like gold. Relationships are like gold, right? That it's so important. Commit to teamwork at home and at work, right? So function as a team at home. Everyone's got to do their part. You shouldn't have to be doing everything. So delegate, make sure everyone's pitching in. Love others unconditionally. Provide them the grace that you want. Be open to change. Gosh, that's been so important in 2020. Be respectful. I always tell my son, I'm like, you're no better than anyone else, right? We are all the same. Be respectful. Practice forgiveness. Let go of anger. Don't make excuses. Okay, I just shared a ton of information with you, and I really hope you found at least one or two useful things that you can take away from our time together. I would like to leave you with one final quote, and then I will wrap up. Relationships of all kinds are like sand held in your hand. Held loosely with an open hand, the sand remains where it is. The minute you close your hand and squeeze tightly to hold on, the sand trickles through your fingers. You may hold on to some of it, but most will be spilled. A relationship is like that. Held loosely with respect and freedom for the other person, it is likely to remain intact. But hold too tightly, too possessively, and the relationship slips away and is lost. Gosh, that is so important, I think, in friendships, in business relationships, in personal relationships, in romantic relationships. I love that. Thank you for taking the time to pour into yourself today. I love sharing the importance of building a strong community of friends and family. Positive mental health is rarely discussed, but definitely cannot be overlooked. It is so, so, so important, especially as we are entering the holidays and working through this pandemic. If you have any other questions or want to reach out to me, you can comment below or you can email me at livinginspiredwithin@gmail.com. Again, that is livinginspiredwithin@gmail.com. I am always here to support you on your journey to betterment. If you haven't already, please join our Facebook group to join an amazing group of women entrepreneurs as we encourage and we lift each other up. It truly is a spectacular group of women. I love this group of women, and you don't want to miss out on the fun and the love that we show each other. So again, if you're not part of our Facebook group, please join it. You can find it on Facebook under under Women Living Inspired Within. You can find us on Instagram as well, Women Living Inspired Within. So please feel free to reach out to me, comment, let me know what you found most valuable during our time together today. If you feel like you need support or guidance on this journey, I'm more than happy to help you. Please reach out to me. You can send me a direct message on Facebook or Instagram as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am wishing you guys success and happiness. Thanks again for your time. Have an awesome day. See you guys soon.